Good afternoon and welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please join this broadcast. We're going to do a number of things today if I can. Apologies for the lateness in the broadcast. We're trying to do something here, which is to raise the level of awareness within our communities. When you get this broadcast, please join us. I'm going to try and share it right now. I'm going to try and share the broadcast as I speak to you right now because it's got to the point where we need to really not bother about what people are saying, but do what we need to do, what we recognize that we must do. It's very important that we do so. One second, please. I need to get something here. Didn't realize it wasn't there, but is it it? One more time. Sorry, let me just take something. I'm just having to get something quickly. 1 second. Oh, what? Where is it? Yeah, there we are. Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to Season AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please help us share this broadcast as you're coming in. I'm going to share it on some flat platforms as well myself because it's very important that we share it. And please do help us reach as many people as possible. Our preferred platform is going to be on YouTube. Facebook, for whatever reason, they seem to be playing games. And for instance, I'm not allowed to speak in Yoruba on a platform that has over 240,000 followers. And I don't think that's right. But what I want to do is to help us all be aware of what is going on, and how we can help each other. So let me just put this up here. Please join the link if you want to contribute. Please join the link. This is for the group or in the Citizen AY Constitutional Awareness Action Group. To contribute, to participate in the discussions. So we're going to put that here. Paste it. Yeah. Live on YouTube. Thank you. Thanks. Okay. Now we're going to put that up there. So the plan is to try and discuss at length about how we can do things. We do need to wake up our people. And like I said, one of the things that we're trying to do is to not worry about what the government is doing. And this is going to cover a wide range of subjects. And I think we need to really start being proactive within our own communities. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by being proactive? We need to start reaching into the communities on ground because that's where the change is. That is where they're making that having the most damaging impact on us all. And it is by working together that we can begin to address the things that are going on and how we can empower our communities. Once again, I want to wish you all Happy New Year. You are, of course, watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Those of you on Facebook, let me just put that, join Citizen AY on YouTube now. So let me just put it there on YouTube now. Because I recognize that we need to do things slightly different. Like I said, Facebook have just been very, very difficult. And what we're trying to do is to please raise the level of awareness. The topic today is raising the awareness about the need for us to have our constitution in our local languages. Conscious of those who may join later on, what we should be doing is to make sure that we empower ourselves. Our language is a powerful tool, and the longer we use the language of foreign countries in our land, we are signifying that we are slaves to the countries to whom we are beholden, i.e., speaking their language in our land. That is what we need to change. We must change that mindset. So, for example, a quick synopsis. I've showed you, you're looking at the map of states in the southwestern Nigeria. And that's the area we're going to be focusing on the discussions today. It doesn't mean that we're excluding Biafra or Middle Belt, but to be able to aid the discussion, and you will see that the paperwork that we have supporting that will make better sense later on. So, what we are planning is to basically ensure that in the 6 states, and I mentioned them: Oyo, Ogun, Oshun, Ondo, Ekiti, those 6 states, we need to make sure that our people begin to understand that and begin to advocate for themselves in their own community. They need to have that constitution in Yoruba. Now, we've done a lot of the work to some extent on Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. What needs to happen? What needs to happen is for us all to now get on board, join in the discussions, help us reach more people. You can play your part. Let us hear from you on this very important topic. Now, I know a lot of people find it difficult when I talk about this, and they say to me, well, oh, so you moved away from your Yoruba Nation now. I haven't moved away from Yoruba Nation. I will keep on saying it. In fact, I am moving towards Yoruba Nation, even at a faster pace. You may not realize it. You may not understand what I am doing. But you need to understand one thing. We cannot achieve Yoruba Nation in the current plans that we have. And that is a fact. That is an undisputed fact. And I would urge us all to really take the time to go back to the drawing board and reset the plans. We must do that. Interestingly, before I go too far ahead, I am not surprised. The petition board rejected the petition that we put forward, where they asked us to sign. They flatly rejected it. They said I shouldn't mention names of an organization, or that is something the government cannot do something about. So we're going to watch out. There's going to be a forming of this petition. What they are trying to do is to take the heat out of it, but we're going to represent it, and we're going to give you further updates on that petition. But so far, what we've been told is we cannot, that petition is not allowed. I'm going to show you, I will show it at some point later on, maybe not on this broadcast, but on another broadcast. That's a side point. But I wanted to, and I may show it. I still may well show it, depending on how things go. What we are talking about is the Constitution of Nigeria. So let me give you a quick rundown. Right now, these are the 6 states that I think we need to focus on in the Southwest region and begin to encourage people to know their constitution in their local languages. And we've done some of that work. Largely on Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We've translated large chunks of the constitution into Yoruba to help us and help our communities. Because in the end, what we are talking about now is really raising awareness within our community. That is what we're trying to do. That is the focus of the broadcast and our discussions. It is raising awareness about the rights that many of our people have not been aware that they had, and how to exercise the powers to use it. So please do me a favor. If you're watching this for the first time and you haven't subscribed, please go and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Let us quickly do something with that. Let's do this now. How do you subscribe on Citizen AY on YouTube? Let us show you how to do that. And please help us share it. So, subscribe to Citizen AY, hit notification button, give us thumbs up. Once again, we wish you all a very happy 2024. May all our heart's desires be achieved in 2024. Certainly, one of my strongly held desire is to see Yoruba nation. But to get there, we cannot get that in 2024. Let me hasten to add. But what we can do is to put the framework in place, to such a way, in such a manner that it would make it easier for the coming generation to now achieve Yoruba nation. So this is what I like to call foundational work. The work that we're doing here is foundational. And then we can look at that in a bit more detail. Now, let me just show you. I think, is this one here? No, I want to just check that I got it right. There's a discussion. Here we go. Okay, got it. Sorry. Sometimes it runs off and you have to try and... Okay. Now, here is our current constitution in Nigeria. Here's our current constitution in Nigeria, the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria. It needs to be changed. It's not working. And those in government use that as an oppression tool to oppress we, the citizens. And the reason why they do that is because they wrote that constitution. 40 men in a room wrote the constitution. We didn't write the constitution. I'm sure you know this story, but I'm just telling you a quick background. 40 men sat in a room and wrote the constitution. And I want to draw your attention to these words that were said here so that you will know why we must change that constitution, but more importantly, why we must make sure that we participate in our governance, because what they wrote excluded you and I and the citizens from the process, and we have been suffering from the injustice ever since then. Now, I just want to make sure you got this bit here. Here's what I want you to really focus on. The words that they wrote here: we, the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We didn't sign that document. This was a fraud. This was a fraud that was perfected on us collectively, and we are suffering from the effects of that till date. So I wanted to state that. Please do share this broadcast. Help us reach more people. The more you share it, the more it will reach more people. And always give us likes as you come on the broadcast as well. Please give us likes. Help us in reaching more people. I really can't overemphasize how important that is, that you share it. Now, the words here are words that they are not anything we the people spoke. These are the words that those who imposed that constitution on us wrote. They said, having family and solemnly resolved to live in unity and harmony as one, indivisible and indivisible sovereign nation under God, dedicated to the promotion of inter-African solidarity, world international cooperation, and understanding. Those ones they're just flavorings. The thing is, we didn't resolve to live in unity and harmony as one nation. It was an imposition. And in many respects, that you can trace back down to the British. I'm going to do a separate program on that. That was the imposition since 1840, when they had a meeting at Exeter Hall. At Exeter Hall, they said they were coming to trade and they were going to give us Christianity, and we'll be signing treaties. All these things were lies used to trick us to believe that anything we signed on paper was binding. It is a lie. They came with that lie and they tricked us. What you call Nigeria is nothing to do with we, the people who are Yorubas, who are Igbos, who are Middle Belt. This is a British government, a colonial British government construct. And interestingly, in the petition that they rejected, They said the government had nothing to do with it. Well, I can prove. Let me just type in Niger expedition, just as a little side note. Niger expedition. I mean, they straight lied, and I want to really bring that lie to. And I'm glad that they did that, because it's showing us that they don't want to lay claim to what they did. They want to say, "Oh, no, 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 the government, they had nothing to do with it." I want you to look at this bit. So we're gonna go into the Niger expedition. Let me just go in there quickly. Here we go, and I just want to show you something. When they say that they had nothing to do with it, I want you to know it's a lie. This is the Exeter Hall meeting. Exeter Hall meeting. That's Exeter Hall, 1st of June 1840. And they were coming. Buxton was promoting grandiose West African policy. I kid you not, New Africa policy, New Africa policy, based on a series of treaties made in West Africa. You see, they highlighted Africa. They targeted the entire Africa. The introduction of Christianity and increased commerce, which is crazy. And they said at the time, anti-slavery activists had little access to the higher reaches of British government, and while relying on public meetings, popular agitation, Buxton was in an exceptional position. So you can see, it goes on to say up to 4,000 people attended the meeting. Sir Robert Peel, you see this guy here, he was the man who set up the police, spoke from the stage, and Prince Albert. Let me see, it's Prince Albert. I'm going to be bringing this up now and every time, and you will know that's part of the royal family. That was the Queen's consort to Victoria, Queen Victoria. So here we go. That's him there. That's Prince Albert right there. Let me move it up. That's Prince Albert. You see? The husband of Queen Victoria. As such, he was consort of the British monarch from their marriage on 10th of February 1840 until his death in 1861. So this was all done strategic moves by Europe. You need to understand that. So anyway, let's go back to, that's a bit of history in there. Now let's go back to the discussion itself. The point I'm making is that why we must have this in our local languages. They've written this in English, and and many of you would have known when I talk about the fact that as soon as they write something in English, the idea is to exclude the people who they are supposedly governing from the process. That is what was done. That is what is being done, and that is what we are here to expose. Please share this broadcast. I know it's going to be long-winded, but we are trying to raise the level of awareness. Thank you for liking the page, and please share it. The more you like it, the more it reach more people. We need to get this awareness to reach as many of our people as possible, because we are simply in the dark. We are in the dark on so many levels. Our people are in the dark. There is a document in front of our people that you see in English, but they can't read it. So that means that our people are in effect in the dark. And let us not kid ourselves. We need to do this work. If we are going to achieve Yoruba nation in any way, shape or form, or Biafra, then the first thing we need to do is to be honest with our people and let them know that to achieve Yoruba nation or Biafra nation, they need to become active participants in their governance. Doesn't mean they support the governance. They need to know what is being done. They have a right to question them. They need to know the laws that they're governed by. If you're just going and saying you're going for Yoruba nation, you're going for Biafra nation, and you do not know those laws, then that means that it's going to be a massive problem to be able to stand up and actually go forward confidently, knowing the flaws in the system. The plan that we have is to begin to reach into all 137 local government areas, as stated in this document here. Let me show you. So this document here states, the southwest geopolitical zone of Nigeria is made up of 6 states, namely Ondo, Osun, Oyo, Ekiti, Lagos, Ogun states, with 137 local government areas. Ondo has 18 local state government areas. Osun has 30 local government areas. Oyo has 33 local government areas. Ekiti has 16. Lagos has 20. Ogun has 20. The population of the entire region, according to 2006 population census, is about 38 million people. That was 2006. From the estimations that we were getting now, it is something like 42.6 million, maybe more. So let's carry on. Apart from the agricultural mainstay of the economic activities of the majority of the rural communities, the zone is also known for commerce trading activities with preponderance of micro, small, medium indigenous industries that are into manufacturing, fabrication, agro-allied produce. Agriculture thrives very well in the area because of the zone is endowed with fertile land. The main crops grown in the zone include yam, cassava, cocoa, yam, maize. Wild cash crops include rubber, cocoa, banana, various types of fruit. The zone is blessed with solid minerals, natural resources, and enriched deposits such as granite, crude oil, stone, lignite, kaolin, clay, coal, tin, etc. The zone has high potential to attract investments in the following areas. So I'm just giving you a quick reading to understand what we need to do and how we can begin to really empower our people. It talks about agro-allied industries. Cocoa, cassava, starch, flour, yam, as well as fruits and vegetables and canning, vegetable canning, textile, cotton, socks, fishing nets, and mosquito nets, industrial minerals, quarry, glass industry, tableware, aggregate plant, including stone crushing plants, plastic industries, plastic manufacture, bottle, flask, cans, tubes, and bags of towels, chemical industry, polythene, explosives, self-adhesive, tape, pulp, and paper. So, the thing that we're trying to do is, because we are not aware of what is written in the Constitution, all the things that you see listed there, we will be continually excluded from. You know, all the things that you see on the list that I just wrote briefly, we will continue to be excluded from those lists and to be able to enjoy those benefits because the Constitution is written in a language that is foreign to the people it is meant to serve, who, after all, are the sovereigns, you and I on ground. So we are trying, the reason for this program is to begin to awaken us, to know that people on ground, we are looking for constitutional champions in all 137 local government areas. We are looking for constitutional champions. And this is where you come in. Please, as you're watching this broadcast, go ahead and subscribe to Season AY on YouTube. Help us grow the platform because we need funds. We need funds to actually bring this about, to make it happen. Let me go to the top of the page again. What you see here, you see, I'm going to focus on that, and let me do something quickly in the background whilst you're watching that. We need constitutional champions, that will translate the Constitution in our local areas into, not translate, that will share the translated Constitution in our local languages within our community, to explain why it is important for them to know the laws that they're governed by in their local language. This is the work that we need to do. We need to do this from the ground up. So let me just put it now. I'm going to put it up. You see it come up now. 137 constitutional champions. Their sole aim is to set up a team among themselves in each of the local government areas that will target communities where they go and make particular, they explain to them what the Constitution means in our local languages. So Um, so that's where you come in. What you can do for us is to help us share this broadcast, help us reach more people. Because the more people, we will need your support to grow this platform. Because in growing this platform, the message that we are going to be sharing will be able to reach into to many more people. And by so doing, the funding for the project that we have, this huge project that we have for the southwestern Nigeria, can begin to take shape. We are not going to be asking for funds. Of course, we welcome donations if people want to donate to us in this task that lies ahead. We welcome donations if you want to donate, and we have all our account numbers. We have the Digital Radio account. We have the PayPal. You can pay. You can do super chats. You can give us stars on YouTube. But the best way you can help us is, of course, subscribing on this platform, because that way, what we want to do is to begin to use those funds to now train these 137 local, we need 137 what do you call it, institutional constitutional champions in, so let me just put it this way, so Yoruba, in fact, and good, so you know that. So I want you to be in our local government areas, in our local government areas. Okay, so I'm just putting that up so that we can begin to see this take shape. That's the work we need to do. Please keep in mind, when I say this, I want you to know that the plan ultimately is for the people to raise their awareness about their rights in the local language, so that we can get to the point where the people themselves will participate in the governance and demand for a referendum. The goal is to achieve a referendum. So that's what we are trying to do. But if you don't know what you are governed by, then I'm sorry to say you cannot achieve Yoruba nation. If you don't know the laws that you are governed by, then I am sorry to say there is no way you can comprehend what it means to achieve Yoruba nation other than just mere slogans. It is one thing to talk about Yoruba nation now, Biafra nation now. It is one thing to do that. But what steps are you actually going to take on ground to translate, to make that slogan become a reality? What steps? That is what we're talking about. We're talking about key steps that we must take on ground. And it has to be a gradual process. It is not going to happen overnight. It isn't. That's why we will require, we need 137 constitutional champions in our local governments. Their sole aim is to, I'm just putting it down there. Their sole aim, their sole purpose is to go into our communities. I'm just writing and I will show you as I speak to you. And explain the need, the need for each community to know the laws they are governed by. To know the laws that they are governed by. So I'm just putting it, I will show you, and I will add more on that anyway. Governed by. Critically in their local languages. Critically. Yeah? So you will see it come up. I just wanted to just put that up there. In their local languages. Because we need to really be thinking in this manner. In their local language. In this case, Yoruba. Language. So, let me just Just a quick thing. It is it's not set. Right. Okay. So we're gonna do that. That is exactly what we need. This is exactly what we need. So I'm gonna put this up, and you will see it on the screen, because we need to begin to inspire the minds of the coming generation. You will not inspire the minds of the coming generation inside a church or mosque. They are just in being indoctrinated. They are simply being indoctrinated in what is keeping our community enslaved. But more on that later on. Let me just quickly do this for you. 1 second. I want you to see this yourself. Hang on, before I go too far ahead, of course, let us do this quickly. I want to make sure that it reflects everything that has been done in the right, proper context. So, we need those champions in the communities to go to those communities and be able to explain to them in their local language why it is important that they know their laws in their local languages. Now, once they've done that explanation, they'll now go set about distributing this document. They set about distributing this document. Here's one I made earlier. Here's one that I made earlier. This is the Yoruba Constitution and the Nigerian Constitution in Yoruba. You can go to the website www.citizenry.org and you will see it on there. Hey, Pesto, here's the website. Please go there, www.citizenry.org. Where you see this key above it, it is where you will see Iwe-Ofin 1999 Nede Yoruba. When you click on that, guess what happens? It takes you to what I've just shown you. We need to share this in our communities. This is something that we will be making sure that our community, our Yoruba constitutional champions, have this not only on their phones or their laptops, but they will have a hard copy of this as well to be able to go around into the communities. So this is now, you can see this is beginning to take some kind of shape now. So let me put this up here. 1 second. 1 second. I just need to do something quickly. I need you to just see that it's very, very important that we do this in the right manner and in the right context. This what I'm doing here, I might still finish it, but I'm just giving you an idea of how this can take shape and what we need to do and why this platform, this particular platform, Citizen AOI, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please subscribe, hit the notification button, and give us thumbs up. Help us share this broadcast. I am convinced that this is the way forward. I am convinced that this is the plan that we can use to collectively achieve Yoruba nation. This is a plan that we must go forward with and confidently begin to promote in our communities. And we will, of course, need your support. Now, that's not only restricted to Yoruba people. This can also happen in Biafra, and they can be translating it in their language. And, of course, Middle Belt as well, and the likes. But the reality, our focus is, and I state again, and I'm putting that picture up, these 6 states containing 137 local government areas. What is the plan? Let us show you a bit more detail on that. 1 second. Give me a minute, please. Okay, so 1 second. Okay, just give me a second. I want to make sure I hadn't quite done what I thought I had done, but it's not a problem. We will fix that in a couple of clicks. So we'll get that done. We will need those champions, and it has to be in all 137 local government areas. And what we do is, once we are in effect looking for volunteers. We need them on ground, and that is where, please, sharing this page is important. The work we need to do is going to be long lasting, it will be consistent, But if we begin to have the funding via this broadcast on YouTube, we don't have to worry about asking for funds from anybody to print the documents that we need to print. We can use the funds that we are getting from this broadcast and funnel that towards providing training to those who will be joining, and also the documents that they will need to distribute, and also reviewing and updating and bringing in updates as to how they're progressing from one community to the next, so that we can begin to change our mindset. That is what we're really trying to achieve by doing what we're proposing right here. We're gonna play it again. I'll be sharing this on Facebook as well directly after I finish this broadcast on YouTube. But our preferred point of contact is YouTube, and we want you all to help us spread the word about the task ahead, the work that we are totally committed to doing, and we will achieve with your support. That is what I really wanted to reiterate. So now this is what I'm showing you now. We need 137 Yoruba constitutional champions in our local governments. We need them in those local governments. These are people that are going to be on ground. You see, a lot of what we have been doing to date so far for Yoruba Nation, we did it and we talked about Yoruba Nation, and just you believe in it and you start spreading the word about Yoruba Nation. I get that, and that has served the purpose to a certain extent. But you see, if you are going to change the foundation of any nation, you need to now go to the roots of it. This is part of the serious roots of the nation. The constitution that we are being used to govern us is so deep-rooted that the only way for us to be able to uproot it is to go to that particular foundation, study it, ensure that the communities are aware of what is contained in that constitution, and explaining to them in their own local language why they need to know it, and begin for them to use those powers. And then they can now see the flaws in the constitution, and they can now take the necessary steps they need to take, i.e., imposing themselves as sovereigns on the elected officials, and telling them, we are sending you to the National Assembly, to the State Assembly, to demand for a referendum. Without doing that, by just merely carrying a placard saying, I want Yoruba Nation, if I carry my flag today, I can carry this flag today and say Yoruba Nation now, Yoruba Nation now. I can go to every state, say that. I can go to every city, say that. Yoruba Nation now. And people will get up and, yeah, Yoruba Nation now. But when we finish saying Yoruba Nation now, what happens after that? What will be on the ground after we've said Yoruba Nation now? That is what we need to deal with. And I'm telling you, what will be on ground when we've carried our placards and we said Yoruba Nation now, and we've waved it, we will come back. We will end up still being in a place called Nigeria. That is the reality. And with that reality is what is impacting our lives collectively. So the plan, we need a strategic plan to deal with how we can begin to partake and monitor what is going on in Nigeria to be able to lead us towards achieving our goal of Yoruba Nation. So this is what I'm saying. It requires a deeper level of thinking rather than just saying, wave the flag, Yoruba Nation now, we will get it now, just join us, it's going to be okay, I want to raise funds. This goes beyond raising funds. And one of the things I want to talk about and why we need to be doing this is because the funds that we are raising as Yoruba Nation, it is pittance. The funds that we are raising as Yoruba Nation, I'm saying it, it is pittance compared to the funds that is available for the people in government to disrupt any plans that we have for achieving Yoruba Nation. Take it or leave it. That's the fact. Unless we begin to really understand those foundations, and begin to encourage our people to understand those foundations in our local languages, we're not going to achieve anything. So the task here is, please, when you get this message, share it. We are looking for 137 Yoruba constitutional champions in our local government. We will train them. The idea is to train them, right? To train them. So let me just do something quickly here as I'm doing this. The idea is to train them up. They will receive training as to how they are going to go into the communities and begin to actually raise the level of awareness about the need for our people in the villages and in the towns and in the cities to know the constitution in their language. Their sole purpose is to go into the communities and explain the need for each community to know the laws that they are governed by, critically in their local language, Yoruba. So that is very, very important point that is being made there. That is where we are calling for your support, and we are saying, please, when you get this broadcast, share it, because it is now about going to the trenches. It is now about going into the trenches to really reach the people. We must do that. Let me just put this up now. So one. So one second, please. Let me just put it up. As I'm doing on the fly now, because I have this idea and I wanted to talk about it on air at the same time. And when an idea comes, I don't like to miss it. I want to actually plot it out. But you can, as we are doing this, you're seeing it as we're going ahead, right? So give me a minute. So please do share. Task at hand. So there we go. So I'm just giving ideas there of what we need to do. Please do share this broadcast. You are, of course, watching Citizenwide, the platform where we speak truth to power. Help us share this broadcast. We need to reach as many people as possible. The work we need to do is not so much of receiving funding from somebody. If you giving us funding right now, it's not going to solve the problem. You can have all the funds and people. If you give a lot of, I'm speaking from experience. When we started Yoruba Nation, on the platform Oduduwa TV Radio, one of the things we did, we wanted to have a radio station. We raised some funds, just about, I think around about £1,000 and something pounds. And we were thinking, oh, this fund is there. We were going to do a radio station. But then as time got on and the momentum for Yoruba Nation gathered, we noticed that we needed something for the people. So what we did was we did, let me see, it's a bit, sorry. I will show you if I can. The t-shirts, we did the t-shirts. You remember we were wearing this t-shirt here. We started doing this t-shirt. I don't know if you can see me. Let me just see if you can see what I'm doing, because I'm using a multi-platform, multi-screen. So let me just make sure you got that. So we started doing, you see, Oduduwa Nation t-shirt. So we did that, let me just show you. So I'm going to go back there. Sorry, 1 second. So the funds that were for the radio station, because the momentum was going high, we thought, you know what, rather than focus on the station, let us, so you can see that. So rather than focus on the station, we would actually, and this was a joint effort, because I remember having discussions with Lady B. Omoba, Alagba Enwele, Motekun. We had meetings. We were having regular meetings. So the joint decision was made to go and print T-shirts out for each of the states, for the state leaders to share among people and sell and and buy and give out to, not sell, to give out to people to actually wear, to show their commitment to Yoruba Nation. So the funds, we now took the funds, we gave it to a pastor. But after vetting, we did vetting as best as we could as to who to give the funds to. And there was a lot of quotation. They gave us different quotes. So we said, okay, fine. We felt this was the best one. We went for that quote. The long and short of it was that as soon as they got the money, they made some good shirts here and there, but majority of what they gave us was poor quality. And this is what I'm trying to get at. So in the end, the funds that we raised was in trying to raise awareness in our community, and we were putting the trust. We were trying to build trust. Those funds were, taken from us under the premise of providing a quality t-shirt. Majority of the t-shirts were of poor quality. People complained, and there was a lot of disappointment with that. Nonetheless, we still continue with the progress with the awareness, and we were having regular meetings with the state leaders, and we were trying to push things forward. And the momentum for Yoruba Nation, continued. But one thing I want you to know is that the people who are telling us Yoruba Nation, who are part of the state leaders, they were substituting what they were getting by getting funds from those in government. So that meant that their commitment to Yoruba Nation was diluted somewhat because they were just doing it for something to eat. And I can't blame them. In the conditions that our people find ourselves, they have to survive. So this is what I am saying, that we have to do something radically different this time. And that is why this program, we are doing it from a different way. We're going to be doing discussions like this. I'll be sending out links. If you are interested in doing this, it's even better if you have your own platform. We can do this jointly. It is not one thing by one person, because the benefit of what we are doing here is going to be for our entire community, not one people, not one group, but the entire Yoruba community. So it requires our collective effort to achieve that. But I am just putting loosely frameworks, and please, this is not the only thing this is not the only way forward. We can add more to it. You are welcome to put suggestions forward as to how you think this can be done. Again, that's what I mean. It is about collective effort. And I'm trying to hopefully, get us to start thinking about this thing in a really practical way. It's a good way to start the year. Today is the 3rd of January 2024. And once again, I wish you all happy new year. Don't forget, as you're watching, to help us, the best way you can help us is to share the broadcast. I'd like you to share this broadcast to 100 of your own people, of your friends. Share it. Share this to 100 of your own people to make sure that the awareness of this new initiative reaches as many people as possible. We need to reach as many people as possible, because what has got to happen now is the awareness about our rights has got to go into our communities. It is when the people know their rights and how, not only knowing it, how to use those rights and begin to empower them to hold those they elect into office to account, that real change will happen. And that is the point that's been made. That's why we need those constitutional champions in our local government areas as soon as possible. Like I said, we will do training, and also, as I'm stating here also, they need to be able to be funded to ensure that they remain committed and focused to the project. So we will teach them how to go to the community, how to explain in their language, in our own language, about the Constitution, Ìwé Òfin Ìlú, orílẹ̀-èdè 1999, orílẹ̀-èdè Nigeria 1999. Explain that to them and why ìdí ẹ̀ tí a ṣe láti mọ òfin ní èdè Yorùbá. So we will teach each of the people who join us. There'll be an online course that we'll be doing. Again, this will have to be funded. It's going to take time. All of this will take time. We will do sessions like this, Zoom or whatever, not live on air, but behind the scenes. And we're looking for support from people. We need people to join us in this support, in this plan. So what we will do is we will have Zoom, Zoom meetings, where training will take place. Zoom meetings where training will take place. And we are going to be preparing them for coming. Keep in mind, the people that are going to be on ground, we will need to fund them with data, because if they're going to do this work, we have to be honest, people are suffering. That is why I'm saying it again. This platform, Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power, is dedicated to empowering our people to know their rights under the current government system that we have. They need to know it in their language. The goal is for Yoruba Nation. Please, I am very clear about that. The flag is next to me. The t-shirt is there. The goal is for Yoruba Nation. But we are, whether we like it or not, as soon as you finish saying Yoruba Nation now, Yoruba Nation now, the land that we are on is recognized as Nigeria. We need our people to understand that on the destination, we are going on a journey to Yoruba Nation. On that journey, until we get to Yoruba Nation, we are still going to be in Nigeria. It is perilous of us to ignore that fact. And what I am saying is that up to date in our plans for Yoruba Nation, we have ignored the fact, the harsh reality that our people on ground face. That every time they finish saying Yoruba Nation, they hold the flag, I'm a Yoruba, this is Yoruba land, I want it to be Yoruba land. The flag of that nation is green, white, green, which signifies it is Nigeria. And that means for us to be able to achieve Yoruba Nation, we need to know the foundations of Nigeria in our language. They have written this stuff. They have written the Constitution of Nigeria in English to exclude our people. And we are suffering from that till date. They wrote the Constitution, one second, please. Let me just put this up. So let me just quickly write this quickly. An idea came in my head, and I don't want to forget it. So just bear with me. Okay, okay. Right, okay. So now what I am going to do right now, as I'm doing this quickly, let me just quickly show you the bit. Where is it? Is it there? 1 second, please. Give me a second. Here we are, I think. Okay. So we're going to go to the Constitution itself. And I need you to picture this when we're talking about it. And this is the message that I want you to pass to people. Every community, as soon as our people, you see, what they have done with this Constitution, they have not explained this to us before. But I am explaining it to you here and now. I think I spoke about it briefly on my broadcast that you saw, where I talked about people switching off once they see the Constitution in English. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about that here and now. Okay, so now we go to the top. Now, when people see this, when people in the community see this, what they see is words in a foreign language. that automatically excludes them from being in that country called Nigeria psychologically. They are automatically removed and separated from being in part of Nigeria, because for the first thing, the language that they see on the screen is not the language of their mother tongue. So as soon as people see that, our people psychologically, they switch off. They feel they are disempowered immediately. This is a physiological experience I'm talking about. When they see that in a village and they go, this is, they say in our constitution, no, me, I don't know book, and how I fit read them. Now, what do you mean? Straight away, our people are disempowered. I want you to know that we have been disempowered for the last 24 years. That is what we need to address. Now, what does that disempowerment do to your ability to participate in your governance? Your disempowerment means that whatever they tell you about what is on screen or what you are hearing, you will accept. You will not challenge, because you feel excluded from the process. And that is what our communities have suffered from. And I put it to you, without dealing with this particular issue, using our language is a powerful tool. Be it Yoruba, be it Igbo, these are powerful tools. Many of the people that are very, very talented in terms of scientific designs, building things, building cars, building all this new stuff, fancy stuff that you see, they don't have a good grasp of English. They are born with the talents, and many of them are stolen. African and Europe. You saw about the guy that was taken from Nigeria to Finland to build motorcycles. Many people, they don't necessarily have a good grasp of English. They are very talented. I put it to you that this constitution disempowers them, weakens them, makes us all unable to partake in our own governance. And that is detrimental to any development that we may have in our land. And it is borne out by the fact that there is no infrastructure maintenance or development going on right now in Nigeria. Because the people who do not feel part of the process, they will be bystanders while they are being looted, not knowing they have the powers within that same document to hold those they elect into office to account, because it is in a foreign language. The goal is for Yoruba nation. The goal is for Yoruba nation. But if we think that by having pronouncements, making statements abroad alone, and not making sure that the people on ground also know the constitution in their language, if we think by doing it abroad alone we can achieve Yoruba, get Yoruba land or Biafra land, we are kidding ourselves. The quicker we realize that is a step we must take, we can begin the process of beginning to empower our people, because it is about really empowering our people. That is what I'm trying to emphasize here. So now, when somebody sees this, and they straight away psychologically they switch off. And once they switch off, they are only going to accept what they are being told. They are not going to engage in the process. That is why our people are not participating in the process. Let me show you what I mean. Section 14.2a of this constitution states in English, and that is why please, I hope you follow what I'm saying. And that is why I hope that when you are watching this, you're sharing it with family and friends. Because what we're trying to do here is do something fundamentally and radically different from what we've done before. It is well and good we can complain about the system failing, There's no doubt it is failing. It is bad. It will not work. Nigeria can never work. But complaining is not what we need to do. And the thing is, I want you to know that you just complaining, you and I just complaining, it is a kind of a mental conditioning, psychological conditioning that the religions of Christianity and Islam has imprinted on our minds. So it is an exercise in inertia. And if you notice, people complain. They will complain the government is bad, nothing is working, and then they will pray. And then they will expect suddenly that because they pray that the answer, there's a solution. It doesn't work like that. That is why I'm telling you that we have been mentally conditioned with this religious, religious inertia of Islam and Christianity to believe that by just praying and complaining that when we pray, there's a solution to our problems. No. You still, with all your praying, let me ask a question. Does your praying, those who are praying, do they know what is in the Constitution in their language? To know what they're doing? Do they know? So what's the point of your praying? What's the point of your praying? That's the question we need to begin to ask ourselves. Those prayers, they've been designed. This is a system designed to enable, to disempower an entire nation of people by those in government and those who set up the system, the colonials. I want you to know that Nigeria is not your property. The name Nigeria is owned by Britain, whether you like it or not. The government is owned by Britain. They control the actions. The Bible that you buy, the Quran, all of it is a system designed to ensure extraction of our resources to the benefit of those who created it, not those who live in it. So, let us go forward. I'm going to show you something here. So, what I'd like you to do is to watch this bit here. I need to read to you what it says here. Keep in mind, like I said, when people see the Constitution in English, automatically you switch off. So whatever they say to you now, people can say anything to you, but you're not taking it in because you feel psychologically removed from the process. We are psychologically, millions of us are psychologically removed from the process. As soon as you see the words written in English that is not your mother tongue, that you don't speak in your village or your town or your city, you just think, now government work with me, I don't know what they talk. So whatever they tell you, you accept. Now, the government, at the same time, on the other hand, they don't want you to know the facts that I'm telling you. So because you are removed psychologically, they know that even though if they give you the powers that you have, you will not use it. Are you seeing what I'm saying? This is all psychological, and this is why we need this constitution in our local languages. I'm explaining what we need, and that's why we need those local champions, and we need to fund them. So please, as you're watching this, subscribe to Citizen AY, hit notification button, give us thumbs up. We welcome suggestions and ideas from you guys. It's not something that can be done alone, but I am clear in my mind that this strategy will work. It requires effort, it requires commitment, it requires dedication, it requires all of us pulling together, because ultimately the goal is our common benefit from our common resources that we have been excluded from by the colonial structures that are currently in place on our land right now. Okay, so now, let me read to you section 14.2a. Please subscribe to Citizen AY, hit the notification button, and of course, give us thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Share this broadcast as you are getting it. Now, let's read this. Now, in the book here, it says, it is hereby accordingly declared that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through its constitution, derives all its powers and authority. That means those who these are meant for, because they feel removed from that process, They are not going to read it. They are not going to take part in. They will not even exercise those powers that you see on the screen because it is not in a language they understand. It is by them just seeing it in English alone. They are switched off mentally. They are not engaged in that process. They're not. And let me prove it further to you. Section 14.2c goes on to state the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Now, because once again it is in a foreign language, they're not even going to get the concept of participation in this governance because psychologically they've been switched off because it is in a language that they don't recognize, that they don't speak in their communities. So when the government says, oh, we are following the constitution, we want you to participate, they are speaking a foreign language. It makes no sense to our people. This is where we need to put the work in collectively. I hope this is making sense. We need to do this very, 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 very much in this systematic manner, gradually explaining. That is why I'm going to bring the picture up again. That is why I advocate for Yoruba constitutional champions. We need them. In Yoruba land, there are 137 local government areas. Please, ladies and gentlemen, I need to go and do something quickly. Whilst I'm doing that, let me play you a video that I did earlier on. Let me see how long that's going to take. Not this one, sorry. And I'll be back in a second. I just need to just go and, do something. But I want you to watch this for me if you can. Yeah, this is another thing I want you to watch. Buckingham Palace banned ethnic minorities. Many of you may not be aware, but they did. So let us watch the video. How long? It's only about how long? Let's see. Let me see. 1 second. I'll come back to the video, but it's important that we understand this. Okay. Okay. 1 second, please. Okay. Whoa. Sorry about that. I don't want that. I don't want that. That's not what I wanted at all. Sorry. I'm not sponsoring somebody else's stuff. Now, let me mute that. Give me a second. You will see it come up in a minute. I just want to just check it. So let me just check. It shouldn't be doing that. Help us again by sharing our broadcast. It's very important. So give me a minute. Just want to make sure we get it right. Then I can I just want you to really understand it. Okay, here we go. So watch that and I'll come back in a bit to really talk about more data plan. But this is all part of, please read it with that in mind. Palace. The fact that we need to make the change. So back here we 2021. So the exact date. So I want to try and give you context to make sure you understand. On the Wednesday, 2nd of June 2021, 2 p.m., this was covered by the Guardian newspaper. Many of us may not be aware. In particularly those of us, and the reason I'm doing this is I need you to understand when you are following this religion of Christianity avidly, particularly those of us who are in Nigeria, we need to understand there is a lot of sinister things that are going on. And when you think, oh, you're supporting something, or they're really, looking out for your interests, this kind of thing really makes you know that it isn't the case. So Buckingham Palace banned ethnic minorities from office roles, papers reveal. Now let's go deeper into that news. So you can see already now. So exclusive documents also shed light on the Queen's ongoing exemption from race and sex discrimination laws. That was when she was alive. So she's exempt from race and sex discrimination laws. Why? Why? No, really, why? Why? So she's got two heads or what? Let me just check. Has she got two heads? Has the royal family, have any of them got two heads? So the laws that apply to you and I don't apply to them, so they can do whatever. You see it there. They're exempt. So the Queen's courtiers banned colored immigrants or foreigners from serving in clerical roles in the royal household until at least the late 1960s, according to newly discovered documents that will reignite the debate over the British royal family and race. There you go. I keep telling you. The documents also shed light on how Buckingham Palace negotiated controversial clauses that remain in place to this day, exempting the Queen and her household from laws that prevent race and sex discrimination. Let's read on. The papers were discovered at the National Archives as part of the Guardian's ongoing investigation into the royal family's use of an arcane parliamentary procedure known as Queen's Consent to secretly influence the content of British laws. They reveal how in 1968, the Queen's chief financial manager informed civil servants that it was not, in fact, the practice to appoint colored immigrants or foreigners to clerical roles in the royal household, although they were permitted to work as domestic servants. Not that long ago, really, the 60s. It is unclear when the practice ended. Buckingham Palace refused to answer questions about the ban and when it was revoked. It said its records showed the people from ethnic minority backgrounds being employed in the 1990s. It added that before that decade, it did not keep records on racial backgrounds of employees. Make of that what you will. In the 1960s, government ministers sought to introduce laws that would make it illegal to refuse to employ an individual on the grounds of their race or ethnicity. The Queen has remained personally exempted from those equality laws for more than 4 decades. The exemption has made it impossible for women or people from ethnic minorities working for her household to complain to the courts if they believe they have been discriminated against.
Save on everything in the Oak Furnitureland winter sale and discover style that lasts with all of these products at their lowest price ever, like the Amersham, now only $5.99, and the Porter, just $7.49. Oak Furnitureland. Sale ends Sunday.
You guys don't understand, do you? Oh man. In a statement, the Buckingham Palace did not dispute the Queen had been exempted from the laws, adding that it had a separate process for hearing complaints related to discrimination. The palace did not respond when asked what the process consists of. The exemption from the law was brought into force in the 1970s when politicians implemented a series of racial and sexual equality laws to eradicate discrimination. The official documents reveal how government officials in the 1970s coordinated with Elizabeth Windsor's advisors on the wording of the laws. The documents are likely to refocus attention on the royal family's historical and current relationship with race. Much of the family's history is inextricably linked with the British Empire, which subjugated people around the world. Some members of the royal family have also been criticized for their past. In March, the Duchess of Sussex, the family's first mixed-race member, said she had suicidal thoughts during her time in the royal family and alleged that a member of the family had expressed concerns about the child's skin color. The allegations compelled her brother-in-law, Prince William, to declare that the royal family was very much not racist. Okay. Queen's Consent. Some of the documents uncovered by the Guardian relate to the Queen use of the Queen's consent, an obscure parliamentary mechanism through which the monarch grants parliament permission to debate laws that affect her and her private interests. Buckingham Palace says the process is a mere formality despite compelling evidence that the Queen has repeatedly used the power to secretly lobby ministers to amend legislation she does not like. This was the late Queen in her lifetime. Keep in mind, the newly discovered documents reveal how the Queen's consent procedure was used to secretly influence the formation of the draft race relations legislation. In 1968, the then Home Secretary James Callaghan and civil servants at the Home Office appear to have believed that they should not request Queen's consent for Parliament to debate the race relations bill until her advisors were satisfied it could not be enforced against her in the courts. Man. At the time, Callaghan wanted to expand UK's racial discrimination laws, which only prohibited discrimination in public places, so that they also prevented racism in employment or services such as housing. James Callaghan pictured with Queen in 1977, welcoming the then French President Valéry Giscard d'Estaing to Windsor Castle. A key proposal of the bill was the Race Relations Board, which would act as an ombudsman for discrimination complaints and could bring court proceedings against individuals or companies that maintained racist practices. Keep in mind, they said the Queen was exempt for such. That's your royal family. In February 1968, the Home Office civil servant T.G. Weller summarized the progress of discussions with Lord Tyrone, the keeper of the Privy Purse, who was responsible for managing the Queen's finances and other courtiers. Tyrone, he wrote, had informed them Buckingham Palace was prepared to comply with the proposed law, but only if it enjoyed similar exemptions to those provided by the diplomatic service, which would reject job applicants who had been resident in UK for less than 5 years. According to Weller, Tryon considered staff in the Queen's household to fall into one of three types of roles. A. Senior posts, which were not filled by advertising or by any overt system of appointment, and which would presumably be accepted outside the scope of the bill. B. Clerical and other office posts, to which it was not, in fact, the practice to appoint colored immigrants or foreigners. And C. Ordinary domestic posts, for which colored applicants were freely considered, but which would in any event be covered by the proposed general exemption for domestic employment. They were particularly concerned, Weller wrote, that if the proposed legislation applied to the Queen's household, it would, for the first time, make it legally possible to criticize the household. Many people do so already, but this has to be accepted and is on a different footing from a statutory position. Anyway, so those are the documents that you're looking at. Race relations documents. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. See? I mean, these are documents, that are damning. So let me see. I'm actually going to do this. 1 second, please. By March, Buckingham Palace was satisfied with the proposed law. A Home Office official noted that the courtiers agreed that the way was open now for the Secretary of the State to seek Queen's consent to place her interests at the disposal of the Parliament for the purpose of the bill. The phrasing of the document is highly significant because it suggests that the Callaghan and Home Office officials believed it might not be possible to obtain the Queen's consent for Parliament to debate the racial equality law unless the monarch was assured of her exemption. As a result of this exemption, the Race Relations Board that was given the task of investigating racial discrimination would send any complaint from the Queen's staff to the Home Secretary rather than the courts. In the 1970s, the government brought in 3 laws to counter the racial and sexual discrimination in the workplace. Complainants in general were empowered to take their cases directly to the courts. But staff in the royal household were specifically prevented from doing so, although the wording of the ban was sufficiently vague that public might not have realized the monarch staff had been exempted. A civil servant noted that the exemption in the 1975 Sex Discrimination Act had been acceptable to the palace, largely because it did not explicitly single out persons employed by Her Majesty in her personal capacity for special exception, while still removing them from its scope. Let's ruminate on that for a few minutes. The royal family that you bow to made laws to exempt themselves from the laws on discrimination. What do you think? And that's the late Queen. Under the late Queen. All this happened under the late Queen. This report was back in 2021. Under the late Queen. There you go. There she is. Grandson. There. What are your thoughts? Let's hear from you. You're watching Cisne Why, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you and bye for now. Please do share. Don't forget, subscribe. Hit the notification button. Give us thumbs up. Help us reach more people. Thank you so very much. You have been watching Cisne Why, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you and bye for now. Okay, so thank you very much for that. I appreciate you for taking the time to listen to that. And there's more information. There's more and more information coming out all the time about what has been done. What they say, everything that's done in the dark must come out in the light. And 1 second, please. I just realized my face is not showing. So let me just get that sorted out quickly. 1 second, please. I'm just trying to find where I put it now. I'm gonna shy. Here we are. Hi there. Yes. So okay. So these are things that you can see, and there are more to be uncovered as well. Please do take the time to watch our broadcast. Apologies for the advert that came in between. I wasn't planning for that, but anyway, it does happen. But it's help us grow the platform. In essence, that's what we're saying. We do need your support. The task ahead of us now is something that we've tried to explain, and we're trying to explain in greater depth and detail, so that we can at least all begin to understand what needs to be done. Please do share this broadcast. Give us a like as you're coming in. Give us a like. Thumbs up is very important. The more you share it, the more you'll reach more people. So, following on for what I was saying before, we need 137 Yoruba constitutional champions in our local government area, because we have 137 local government areas. If we're going to, these are people that must be part of Yoruba Nation, and they must know. We would prefer that they are, because they will know what we're trying to achieve. Because it will require a long-term commitment to the goal of Yoruba Nation. But it's got to start with first uprooting the lie and the fraud we call the Nigerian Constitution. But we can only uncover and uproot it through active participation and exposing it, such as we're doing at the minute. So let us proceed and show you the next bit of what we spoke about before. So, like I was saying, so when they say the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution, all of that, keep in mind, because it is in a foreign language. Any of our Yoruba community that you go to, when they see that, you may even try to explain it to them in a way, or trying to not, just say, oh, this is what it means. They are already switched off. They don't feel part of the process. Now, when you don't feel part of a process, you can't participate in that process. Are you understanding what I'm saying? When you feel that you are not part of a process, you are very unlikely to participate in it. And what the churches and the mosques, they've been doing is to make the people believe that by praying, they are solving this problem that they face, which is that the document is not giving them the opportunity to participate as sovereigns in their own governance. It's removing them because it's in a foreign language. The churches don't deal with that. And I want you to know the churches, they have the Bible in Quran. Don't take my word for it. Let me show you. I like to speak on facts. I don't like to just talk. I'll show you. And this is where I need you to know that the Bible and the Quran are really there to distract your mind. They are deceptions. They are deceptions. Let's go into it quickly. Let me show you. Okay, let me just get you the Iwe Mimo so-called. So let me see. Is that here? Alright. If not, I can get it online equally, but I'm just trying to. Okay, let me see. Let's have a look. If it comes up, I know I've seen it. Let's have a look at it one more time. We're trying to find it for you. There we go. I think we have something. I think we may have something. Do we have anything here? 1 second, please. I'm just trying to find it for you. We will get it in the end. I just need you to be patient with me. Okay. Try one more time. It is not showing up. It has been gone shy just now. Okay, let's go into downloads. Let me see if I can find something. Okay, let's do it this way. I'm going to do it as you're on the screen right now. So we're going to do this. In fact, it's a good way to do it. So we need to understand what we're doing here. That's why I'm. So you can see, Bíbélì Mímọ́. You see, 1 second. You can see. I think you can see it on the screen. You see above there, Alákọ̀ọ́lẹ̀ Bíbélì Mímọ́. So you can even buy it. You see, but that's the app. But I don't only want the app. I want to buy those. I want to show you the book itself. So here we go. That's it. Pictures. You see. So the Bible is in Yoruba. Yeah. You see that? Bíbélì Mímọ́. And that's the Bible. Yeah. And let's go and look at the Quran. Let's go and look at the Quran. Yeah. Quran. So the Quran. Quran ní èdè Yorùbá. In Yoruba. Alaponle. So so you see now, Quran in Yoruba. Let me see if I can get you pics. So I'm trying to show you this. So you see that? The Quran in Yoruba, you can see it there. So please, I am showing you this to illustrate a point. So the books that you read, the Bible, yeah, the Bible is in Yoruba, yeah. So let's see if I can find even a bit more, some books. So let's see if I can find some words. But anyway, you can see it. Bible in Yoruba, yeah, the Quran in Yoruba. So, if that being the case, why hasn't the government translated this into Yoruba? Why hasn't the government translated this into Yoruba? We need to think about that. We need to think about that. And that is why we are being held back. That proves they don't want you to know what is in the Constitution. If you don't know what is in the Constitution, you won't know the steps you need to take to achieve Yoruba nation. That is what I'm saying here. If we don't know what is in the Constitution, we won't know the steps to take to achieve Yoruba nation collectively. Please, let's be very, very clear about something. A few people may have ideas and they can try and work on their ideas. But whatever we want to achieve with that, on that premise, will take a long time. But if all of us are aware of the same thing, the fraud that the Constitution represents, and the steps we can take together to now make our people aware in our communities, and we begin to act on that collectively, it will have a greater impact, and we'll even be able to achieve that goal for sure. That is the aim of what we are trying to do when we're doing programs like this. To enlighten, to make us alert, to be aware that we have been lied to, and we need to begin to wake up rapidly and teach each other. Each one teach one. This has to be a collective effort. It has to be a collective effort. And that is what we are hoping, doing programs like this, give me 1 second, that we can share and make us aware. Now, people don't understand sometimes when I say this. They go, oh, this guy is just talking and whatever, and it's not, this is not what we need. But if you think about what I'm saying, our people, they never ever listen to what is being said in terms of engaging in it. They only say, okay, it's like they're reading the Bible, and the Bible tells them do this, and it tells them do this. They do it. The same thing. They hear what is in the Constitution. Because they don't know it in their language, they just do it. Because of the conditioning that the Bible and the Quran has done to our minds collectively. I used to do that, and I'm not trying to be flippant. I used to do that as well. I used to be very, very religious. But to be religious is to be mentally enslaved. And I will show you a picture in a minute to wake you up. Many of you may not have known this, but I'm going to show you a picture to wake you up. Make you understand that what they're doing to us is lies. Welcome on board, please do share this podcast. If you're watching, please do share. I'm asking a question. If the Constitution, why is the Constitution not in our local languages? Why? Before you say, oh, it's too long, it's too much, it's this and that. Look at this. look at this. I need you to look at this. The Bible that you take to church every Sunday, please do sign and share this broadcast. Like and share this broadcast. Thank you very much. Continue to share, like this broadcast, and let it reach more people. Please, if you can, as you're watching, hit like button, give us thumbs up, and share to family and friends. The more the merrier. The more the merrier, because we need this to to go far, to go viral. Because of the work that we're doing here is not a work that you'll find being done anywhere else. Yes, it is easy to criticize and not criticize and just say, well, we don't know what the future, we don't know what to do, we'll keep looking and complain. It's easy to do that. You can easily complain. It is very easy to complain, but it's very difficult to remain on the same goal, which is to actually begin to plot a way for us to come out of this bondage that we're in, because we're in bondage. So, like I said, the Bible is in Yoruba, the Quran is in Yoruba, but our constitution currently as it stands is in English, and that is not acceptable. It is not something we should accept. We need to change it. Thankfully, Season AY, the platform where we speak truth to power, has come about with a plan, and the plan is, which what we're doing now, is to have, you can see it right there, the constitution in Yoruba language. Òfin orílẹ̀-èdè Nigeria ní ọdún 1999. That is the Constitution of Nigeria 1999. Translation of the 1999 Constitution into Yoruba language. That's what Season AY has started. What we need to do is, we want this in voice for audio format, so that audio books, we want it in printed format, and we want obviously to be able to access it like this on your phone, on your laptop, on your PC, in every community. And we want to have sections of it printed out. So, now, contrast this to the previous constitution where it was only in English. When somebody in Yoruba land sees Òfin orílẹ̀-èdè Nigeria ní ọdún 1999, they start feeling, oh, okay, so this is our laws in their language. Òfin means law. This is our laws. Oh, I want to be, what does it say? Now your interest is piqued. Your interest is now, they've now spoiled your interest. And that is where you will know that our government is being very insincere. If they can print the Bible and the Quran in Yoruba to generate interest, to allow the people to get absorbed more into the religion, but the document that they're using to govern us, they refuse to print it in Yoruba, it means they want their mind, the minds of the people, to be taken away from what is in that document, to not even think about it, to just live their life devoid of what is impacting their lives on a daily basis. Because I can tell you, the Bible and the Quran does not impact your life. Whatever decision they make in that Bible or the Quran will not impact your life as badly as the laws and the decisions made by those in government using this constitution. So you can see now that they're doing untold psychological damage in refusing to translate the constitution to Yoruba language, to Igbo language, to Middle Belt language, to all of these languages. That is why we are saying, please, join us in the struggle. The best way you can help us in the struggle right now is to subscribe to Season AY on YouTube. That's the best way. And because it will enable us to begin to do this, we can now begin to fund. We can begin to fund Yoruba constitutional champions. Yeah, you can see it in all our local governments. Because until we stop that switching off of our people from the governance, because it's not in our language, they will not participate. And the best way to switch it off is to have constitutional champions in the in all 137 local government areas, going and explaining why the people must participate in the governance, and also to teach them the laws within the constitution using a combination of books, a combination of audio books, and of course, being able to do it on laptop, on iPhones, to share that message. And there is a particular way that we have to teach, train our constitutional champions on ground to be able to consistently carry out this work. Now, that's going to require funding, because we do not want those who will be doing that work to have to depend on the very system we are trying to explain to the people. Because the minute that system comes in, what they will do is they try and dissuade those people from carrying out the very much needed awareness that we need, that our people be empowered to begin to hold those they elect into office to account. I hope you're following what we're saying. So that's so this is what we're saying here. We need 137 constitutional champions in our local governments. They are the ones that will start. Of course, we need much more than that, but let us start with that. Making sure that we cover every single community, a local government area, that we have presence on ground. Yoruba Nation has presence on ground in those places, but we have got too many voices saying the same thing, but not really having a meaningful impact on the change that we need. We welcome Yoruba Nation people to join in this struggle and to join in translating as well. We welcome that, and you can indeed set up your own. But if you do, one of the things we need to do in our struggle right now is to avoid replication of whatever it is that we're doing. If we all do something, that's why working together is very important. It would avoid anybody doing something of their own back and not impact and not think and then sort of somebody else coming and do their own thing. But when we join forces, we have much more. We can achieve much more together. Again, these are just suggestions that we're coming up with. And I would hope that many of us would look at this favorably and want to be part of this process. It is going to be a slow process. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not something that will suddenly go boom, okay, and then now you get Yoruba Nation. No. We have to be very realistic that the government that comes in there now will be there for at least for the next until 2027. They will be there. They are going to be there. Yes, things are going to be tough. The nation will be, will be very in a bad, poor state because of the failure of governance. But they will still be there. And on the basis of that, we need to arm our people with knowledge so that people can begin to exercise their powers using the knowledge they now possess, that they know of their constitution in their language. That is very, very important. So this is what we need to do. So if you know of people who are young people as well, even, primary school, secondary school, adults, we need them to be in this struggle. But if you are able to donate to us, great. But if you are able to share the broadcast so that we have more followers on the platform, we can begin to direct some of those funds towards this task here. This task that will take a lot of time, a lot of effort to raise the awareness in our community, to begin to change our mindset. Our mindset has been corrupted. And what we're trying to do is to enlighten us, to awaken us. To achieve Yoruba Nation, I want you to know that without taking this step, we can't achieve Yoruba Nation. I know people find that difficult. They don't want to hear anything about Nigeria. But we are, every time, let me say that again, when you finish saying, Yoruba Nation now, Yoruba Nation now, Yoruba Nation now, as soon as you finish saying that, what soil are you on if you're in Nigeria? What is the name of the soil you are on? The name of that soil is Nigeria. So, yes, we support you saying Yoruba Nation now. advocating for it. But even more so, if you are to begin to explain the powers of the Constitution that we possess as people and how people can use it, that means you are preparing the people to be part of the struggle to go for Yoruba Nation, because it is in using those powers they can now call for a referendum by instructing their elected officials to go to the National Assembly and the House of Reps to demand for a referendum. So this is what we need to do. So now, let me do one more thing. So we are now going to go into detail. So this is what we need to do, and we'll be doing some more training. And also, like I said, we need to make sure that those who will be doing this, we are able to provide for them in terms of data, in terms of travel cost, those kind of things, and of course the leaflets and all of that, that people can use to, begin to question. Because one of the things that we don't want to do, we've been programmed to become just listeners and not taking action. That is what going to church on Sunday and going to the mosque, on Fridays and praying in between, that is what it does. You become programmed to just listen and act on instruction, whereas you should be proactive and start questioning those in government. Why did you spend that money? Where is the money? Where's the proof you spent it? That our roads are bad. You start thinking, you start engaging in the process. With the religion of Islam and Christianity, as practiced in Africa, is designed to enslave your mind. And that is what we are trying to wake you up from. So, let's go forward. So, that is the plan. Now, you can see it says here. And in fact, let me read this first line to you. As soon as you start reading this yourself in your language, you will react. Because it says, níwọ̀n bó ti jẹ́ pé ìjọba ológun ìjọba àpapọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú ìpadà sí ìṣàkóso abẹ́lé ètò òṣèlú òfin 1999 tí í ṣe ìdìbò nípasẹ̀ àjọ ìdìbò ti orílẹ̀-èdè olómìnira ṣe ìdìbò sí òfìsí ààrẹ àti igbákejì ààrẹ, àwọn gómìnà àti igbákejì, àwọn gómìnà, àwọn alága àti àwọn igbákejì, àpéjọ orílẹ̀-èdè, ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àti àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ ìjọba agbègbè. So, now, what we are saying there, you now begin to read that in your language, and you start reading and you're going, I don't agree to this, so, because it says here, I'm trying to read that to you in English. 1 second. Please give me a minute. A second. So, the bit that I wrote where they talked about since that we suddenly, resolve to, that we shall not, that the country shall not be broken apart and all that in English. It's in effect saying the same thing here. You will now start asking a question in your language. Did we vote for this? When did this happen? So this is prompting you to take action by just reading alone in your local language. And when you see this in your local language, you psychologically switch on and you are ready to engage and question. And that is why we're saying what we're doing. That is of immense, immense, immense importance. That we have the Constitution in our local languages. If the Bible, if the Constitution, the government and others can see it fit to have the Bible in Yoruba, to have the Quran in Yoruba, so what is it that they're trying to do? 1 second, please. Why is it not okay? Why is it not okay to have the Constitution, in Yoruba or in Igbo, in Hausa, to aid the understanding of our people? It means they have a sinister plot here. Please, ladies and gentlemen, as you're watching, don't forget, give us a thumbs up. The more you give us a thumbs up, the more we'll reach more people. It is really important that we help us in doing that. So as I speak to you now, you can see that constitution, and you have every right to question a lot of the things that you've seen in there. And I encourage you to do so. Now, so you can see the bit here. They talked about so it talks about ìlànà òfin kan yóò wà fún Nàìjíríà tí yóò jẹ́ bí a ti ṣètò sínú ìṣètò sí àṣẹ yìí. So the rule of law is what they're talking about there. Let me just quickly translate that to you, NB1, to make sure you see it as well. So we're going to go here. A second, please. So I'm going to try and get it. Section 1.3. Just make sure we get that right. 1 second. One second, please. I'm just trying to find this information for you. Oh, okay. It's proving difficult. I should have used the button next time, but I will do. Here we go. Got it. Section 1.3. If any other law is inconsistent with the provisions of this constitution shall prevail, and that other law shall, to the extent of the inconsistency, be void. So that's what they spoke about here in Yoruba. Beg your pardon. So nígbà tí ó bá ti jẹ́ dandan láti tẹ ìwé òfin, yóò jẹ́ ìwé òfin àtẹ̀wé ìjọba àpapọ̀ láti Igbó láti fi gbogbo àwọn apá kan àti àṣẹ yìí sílẹ̀ yàtọ̀ sí ìṣètò àti ìlànà fún òfin àti ìlànà ti òfin gẹ́gẹ́ bí tí a ti jẹ jáde yóò ní agbára òfin láìka pé orúkọ. So again, it's a power in us that you're seeing. I'm giving you the straight power as well. 1 second, please. So what I'm saying is that now you can read this in Yoruba yourself, and you can question things, you see? And it's very important that we begin to exercise that as communities. What they've done is cruel. To not translate this constitution into our local languages is truly cruel, because we've been excluded from the government process. And yet they say, please go and participate. The same people who give the Bible and the Quran are refusing to give you this in Yoruba. That's why we need the help in growing the platform. Now, let's go forward again. I want to read this a bit here. Section 10 of the Constitution. I'm going to read this now. So Section 10, again, talks about that no religion shall be adopted as state religion. Again, this is in Yoruba. Ìjọba àti federation tàbí ìpínlẹ̀ kò ní gba ẹ̀sìn èyíkéyìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹ̀sìn ìpínlẹ̀. So again, by knowing this in our language, we will make sure that those in government comply with the rules, and we can participate in that process. Our participation is the key. Okay, so please don't forget, go and subscribe to Zinewa on YouTube. You can watch this section, this constitution. It's about halfway. We'll be doing more. Just been hectic with things of late. You can read it, use it to hold those who are elected into office to account. Please continue to subscribe, hit the notification button, give us thumbs up. hit the like button. Let us reach as many people as possible. We truly appreciate your support. So now we're going to fast forward. So, 14 2A states. Let's go and read it. 14 2A states. Ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ sí ìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin yìí ń gba gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So, in essence, that is, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. Translated from English into Yoruba, just seeing that alone empowers you. I want you to believe that. Just seeing that written in your language, you feel you are being heard. When your language is being shown, such as Facebook is doing, Facebook are telling us that they don't want to monetize it because they don't consider Yoruba an eligible language, that we can only speak English. So by the system acknowledging that we are the sovereigns and it is in English, in Yoruba, it gives us the strength to know that we and our voices, we matter, and we have the right to stand up where there is an injustice. And that's what I'm hopefully trying to, wake us up and begin to really understand. So 14.2a, 14.2c, ìkópa nípasẹ̀ àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà. Ìkópa nípasẹ̀ àwọn ènìyàn ní ìjọba wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn ìpèsè ti orílẹ̀-èdè. So the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. That is what that is saying. Now, if our communities heard that in their language on a regular, consistent basis, psychologically they start taking that message on. They've been hearing for so long that, everything that they've done is in English, and they are trying to do what they can, and they've been conditioned to accept that injustice. And that's what we're trying to address. We're trying to address that by having that constitution in our local language. Once again, you can see it on www.citizenay.org. You can download it up to section 55. There's more that we'll be building as we go along. So, that is very important. Those two, àṣẹ àti agbára, let me read it to you. Ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ sí ìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè ìgbà gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So the government derives its power of governance from you, the citizens. But because they have tricked you through just having the constitution in only English to switch off and just watch, you are not able to participate in the process. No matter how many times they say you must participate in the process, because psychologically you've been told you are not part of the process. That is why having the constitution in our local languages is of immense importance. It doesn't mean that we're supporting one Nigeria. It doesn't. It's supporting the people to get what is rightly theirs, using the powers that they possess as sovereigns within the constitution right now, until such a time that they can now go and vote for a referendum to demand that Biafra goes a separate way, Middle Belt goes Igbo goes, Yoruba goes separate way, Middle Belt goes separate way. So that is what it's about. But people need to really understand what we're saying when we're saying what we're saying about the need for this to be in Yoruba, knowing that we have the Ashe, and the Agbara, we have the power as sovereigns to hold our governance to account. It changes our mindset, and we begin to hold our people to account. This dogmatic thinking that is Islam and Christianity has imposed on our minds has got to stop. And we need to wake up collectively. I'm saying it, we must wake up collectively. That is what we must do. Let me see if I can find another little section for you to watch once I come. I'll be back again shortly. Let me just go and check something. I'm trying to deal with this in a way. So, what was it yesterday? There was something I wanted to show you. I will come back to that, but I wanted to show you something. Give me a minute, please. was it I was showing you? How long is that for? No, not that one. 1 second, please. So let's try this one. So we need champions, but we'll come back 1 second, please. Then I'll come back and do a little bit more. Just want to check this first. How long is this one? Sorry about that. No. Beg your pardon. Begging your pardon. Okay, I just wasn't there. One second. Just give me a minute. Okay. Where is it? Just trying to realign. 1 second, please. Just give me a minute. We've done that one. I think it's this one. Okay. Well, we speak with power. Quick one. With the statement released by the president's spokesperson, Anjuri. Again, this is going to this will help illustrate the point. The statement released by the president's spokesperson, Anjuri Ngulele, on the MDA. Have a listen. Have a listen. Situation. Let's have a listen, shall we? Let's have a listen.
And it contained the president's directive to the MDAs. And in that, it says here, if we could pick it up, all MDAs have been directed to take responsibility and provide monthly budget performance reports to the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, which in turn shall ensure the veracity of such. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy